You sell me horse blood?
No.
Would you like to buy horse blood?
No.
The world is full of wonderful and unique foods. Some, however, have been banned from certain regions or even entire countries. So make sure to stay away from the top 10 foods that should be banned.
Technically, it's illegal in this country.
Chewing gum.
Habibu! Habba is chewing gum. Habibu's not chewing gum.
Singapore has some pretty strict laws when it comes to things like spitting and littering in public. And why shouldn't they? Littering is one of the worst problems that exists in all parts of the world, and everyone could benefit from a little less trash in the streets. Chewing gum, however, is where Singapore law may take things a bit too far. In 1992, Lee Kuan Yew decided that he was going to keep Singapore as clean as possible. He considered the act of chewing gum to be unclean and wanted to prevent the city streets from becoming filled with used gum. Who can blame him, though? There are so many places in the world where the sidewalks are spotted with pieces of disposed chewing gum that have been baked into the concrete by the sun.
Sounds like my kind of gum.
Lee was often quoted speaking about the ill use of chewing gum throughout the country. He definitely was not a fan. Maybe he was a school teacher in a previous life. They seem to have the same outlook on the chewy treat. While chewing gum today is much more tolerated in Singapore, you still may end up facing a huge fine if you're caught spitting your gum out onto the streets. So the next time you find yourself in Singapore, remember to switch out your pack of gum habit for breath mints. Mountain Dew.
Here's Mountain Dew Zero.
I am thirsty.
Now to add a truly all-American classic to this list, Mountain Dew, much like Coca-Cola, can be thought of as one of the true American soft drinks. Packed with sugar, artificial color, and caffeine, Mountain Dew can be found on most store shelves across the United States. Coming in many different flavors and artificial colors, Mountain Dew has been a favorite of many over the years. This sugar-packed drink has been banned, however, in both Japan and parts of Europe. One would think that this drink was surely banned due to the amount of unnatural coloring used to give the unique soda its neon-like glow, but it was banned for something much more strange. Brominated vegetable oil is one of the ingredients that has been used in Mountain Dew for some time now. While it won't prevent you from catching fire, it has been used as a fire retardant in some plastics. Ingesting too much of this substance has given some people skin lesions, memory issues, and even nerve disorders.
That sounds bad.
So the next time you want to pair your gaming session with a sugary soda, you may want to look for another drink that is brominated vegetable oil free. Horse meat.
They feed us horse meat with traces of jockey meat.
While horses aren't that much different from cows, most of the world doesn't indulge in a horse meat burger. Italians, on the other hand, love their horse meat, especially in the region of Sicily. While some say it doesn't taste much different from cow meat, horse meat has been banned in the United States and United Kingdom for ethical reasons.
It's for the best.
The U.S. has actually had a long history with producing horse meat over the years, though. Like many other countries around the world, horse meat was used as a replacement for other types of more common meat when other options weren't available. Today, there is quite the confusing ban around the sale of horse meat. While the sale of horse meat itself isn't banned, the budget for horse meat inspectors was repealed, which has basically outlawed the meat itself. Although horse meat has had its place in history, many people around the world see horses as more of a pet than a source of food. As long as other meat supplies stay in stock, most doubt we'll see a lift on the horse meat ban anytime soon. Black pudding.
What's my favorite hospital food? Jell-O.
Just from the name alone, you may think that this next food is a wonderfully tasty type of dessert. You would be wrong in thinking this, unfortunately, as black pudding is a traditional British dish that is more like a sausage made with blood. Composed of oats, barley, fat, and pig blood, black pudding may not be as appetizing as the name suggests. This blood-filled food is wildly popular in the United Kingdom and is even a main part of a traditional English breakfast. Black pudding and other blood sausage dishes have been outlawed in the United States, and diners will continue to have to travel outside of the states to fulfill their craving for the classic British snack. Many countries in Asia also serve foods that are made with blood, whether it be pig blood, fish blood, or the many other varieties.
Maybe next time, Deshaun.
Blood really seems to be a popular item to cook with in some parts of the world. I think it's safe to say that most people in America haven't tried a food made with any type of blood, and no, the red juice that comes out of a steak isn't blood. To really try something made with blood, you'll most likely have to travel overseas. Durian fruit.
That's a dangerous fruit. It's like a weapon, that thing.
Durian fruit is a hugely polarizing food. It's sold in tropical regions of the world, like many countries in Southeast Asia. Also known as the king of fruits due to its defensive outer shell, durian can actually be quite the expensive purchase, depending on how much you order. The first thing people will tell you about durian is that the smell it emits is almost too much to handle. Some people liken the smell to that of dirty gym socks, while others think that it smells like raw sewage. Whatever you think it smells like, you'll be glad to hear that it is one fruit banned from many public transit systems across Asia. Trains and buses have posted signs specifically stating that carrying durian on board is strictly prohibited. As bad as durian may smell, the taste is actually quite good, and the texture is almost reminiscent of ice cream.
The first bite, you're kind of like, I'm not sure I like this. And then the second one, it's amazing.
There are many people in this world who love durian with a passion and will continue to eat the exotic fruit despite all the bad looks they receive while digging into their favorite pungent snack. Bushmeat.
It's snake meat.
Bushmeat is a type of meat that is acquired from animals that are not typically hunted for food. Bats, rats, monkeys, snakes, and other animals are commonly used for their meat in parts of Africa and Asia. However, in many Western countries, these types of meats have been banned due to their ability to spread disease to the general public. No one has to be reminded of the most recent worldwide pandemic that may have stemmed from someone eating a bat, right?
Tell me about it.
It's easy to see why some animals are not used for their meat, as we are still seeing the effects of what a global pandemic can do to the world. Although bushmeat is illegal in most countries, some places don't see any issue with eating such animals. Bushmeat is sold all over Western and Central Africa, and many people rely on these animals for a source of food. It's hard to look down on eating strange animals when there may be nothing else available. Fugu.
Fan-fugu-tastic.
Fugu is a highly poisonous type of blowfish that is enjoyed as a rare delicacy in Asia, most notoriously Japan and Korea. When preparing this unique fish, chefs have to be extremely careful to remove all of the toxic parts of the fish before serving it to guests. If a customer were to mistakenly consume some of the toxin, they may endure partial paralysis or even death by asphyxiation in some cases.
Oh no. I poisoned you.
Since the year 1958, Fugu chefs have to hold a specific license to be able to sell the fish to the general public. This is no easy process either. The chefs must train as an apprentice for 2 years and complete a multi-section test that requires an immense amount of knowledge about the fish. While this fish is still being served throughout some parts of Asia, Fugu is banned across the European Union and the United Kingdom due to its potential for extreme poisoning. While the fish may be delicious, most people aren't willing to risk eating something for dinner that could contain a toxin 1,500 times more powerful than cyanide when other perfectly safe options exist. Maybe order the poached salmon instead. Casu Marzu.
I hate it this way.
What's wrong with it?
Less cheese.
Also known as maggot cheese, Casu Marzu is a special type of cheese that is popular in Sardinia, an island off the coast of Italy. The cheese starts off in a normal state, but it's then injected with fly larvae. Why would someone inject perfectly good cheese with fly larvae, you may ask? Well, it's to speed up the fermenting process, of course. While the maggots are usually removed before serving the cheese, some major cheese connoisseurs think that eating the cheese with the maggots still in inside is the proper way to enjoy this strange delicacy.
Well, no, actually, there's nothing scary about the maggots at all.
This maggoty cheese has been banned from commercial sale in most places and completely banned in the United States. Most people can understand why a cheese full of maggots may not be the greatest thing to sell to the general public, but hardcore cheese enthusiasts may think otherwise. The draw of the cheese is that once the maggots have eaten through the enzymes that exist inside, the hard surface begins to break down to a soft and smooth consistency. While this may sound appetizing in some way, when the cheesemonger cracks open the hard outer shell to expose the soft inner core, maggots can be seen squirming throughout the block. This cheese may be one of the most unique and interesting in the world of dairy, but many people may not want to give it a try. Why eat a block of maggot-filled cheese when a creamy brie can give you the same effect without all the squirming? Shark fins.
They're gonna tear you fin from fin!
Shark fin soup is the most popular way that this food item is usually served. Many diners may have visited a traditional Chinese restaurant that served the dish with either a replacement for the fin or maybe even the real thing. Most people can understand why this food has been banned from most countries around the world. The sharks are hunted for their fins in an aggressive manner and then unfortunately left to die once the fin has been harvested.
How could you? How could you?
Seen as a symbol of great wealth in Chinese and Taiwanese culture, shark fin is still quite popular in the region. Although lacking in any real flavor, according to some who have tried it, shark fin is thought to also possess great health benefits, according to some ancient myths. Shark fins have now become so popular that many of the shark populations across the globe are suffering due to the increased demand. It may not seem so bad to eat shark, considering all the other seafood that are eaten without issue, but the problem stems from just using the fin as a source of meat and leaving the majority of the shark untouched. While this technique is highly looked down upon by much of the Western world, Asia is continuing to overharvest the shark population in an attempt to provide its people with this local delicacy. Genetically modified foods.
They're genetically modified to stay fresh.
The source of much recent debate in the food world has revolved around genetically modified foods. Many countries across the globe have put a full ban in place on these types of foods.
And now, the nations of the world.
France, Germany, Austria, Greece, Hungary, the Netherlands, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Bulgaria, Poland, Denmark, Malta, Slovenia, Italy, and Croatia all have completely outlawed GMOs, with other countries choosing to partially ban the foods. The use of genetically modified foods has been quite controversial in most places. On one side, you have the argument that these foods are not natural and therefore more harmful to the consumers. The other side argues that these foods have been modified in a way to help the general population, increasing the growth for farmers and preventing these crops from succumbing to disease or insects are some of the main reasons genetic modification has been used over the years. Although the United States still consumes a lot of genetically modified foods, the awareness has risen within many communities, and people are requesting a return to more natural means of production.
I also only eat local, organic produce.
Some people are against the use of these types of foods, but there hasn't been any clear evidence if GMOs are actually harmful. The foods may have had their genes modified in a lab, but does that really make them unhealthy or bad for human consumption by default? Many perfectly legal foods contain equally dangerous ingredients, yet we continue to sell and consume these foods without major issue. At the end of the day, it all depends on what you're willing to put into your body, whether it be good or bad for you. It all comes down to what you determine is best for your own well-being. We've got more. Just tap or click for another sweet video. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad. And hey, leave us a comment.